Let's now move beyond the domain of language and talk about some factors which may be responsible for second language acquisition and still they are not linguistic. One of the most common or widely accepted notions in relation to SLA has been that some learners are more successful than others. And it's not always linguistic factors which are responsible for this variation in learning a language. There are some other non-linguistic factors which are responsible for this variation. For example, it could be the age, motivation, aptitude, affect, or anxiety, for example, which may be responsible and may vary from individual to individual. And this variation of these factors in various individuals may affect their learning as well. We could see in addition, there is a process of fossilization that simply means being stuck with the learning. We believe, and many people argue about it, that children are more successful learners as compared to older learners. And older learners may stuck with learning their second language efforts somewhere during the process of this learning. This is roughly called as fossilization. So this could be a factor responsible for learning a second language and could explain the capacity or scope of learning a second language. And there are many reasons or factors which are responsible for the variation in second language learning or variation in the achievement of second language learning. We'll start with competence. Competence is one of the most talked about concept in modern linguistics. It looks into what a learner knows rather than how a learner uses it. It looks into competence as actual knowledge instead of the performance of a user of a language or a learner of a language. We see that this concept of competence deals more importantly with the knowledge, but the researchers so far do not inform us clearly that this is available or available in the same quantity to the all speakers or learners of a language. The next is affect. Affect refers to emotional feelings or reactions to something we confront in our life. In relation to second language acquisition or learning, we see that this could be a feeling or emotional reaction to a language we aim to learn, or to its users, or the culture it belongs to. If you have a bad emotional experience or affective experience, your learning might suffer because you might get into a language or culture shock if you are not happy with the culture of the language you're trying to learn. And this language or culture shock may badly affect your learning experience and learning itself. The next is language anxiety. Language anxiety is also an emotional state. This could be personality related. Some people might be more anxious than others. This could also be an emotional reaction to an event or a learning experience or anything related to learning. Or it could be a combination of all these factors. This is also responsible for learning. And we have seen studies showing that anxiety could contribute or affect the learning. If anxiety is greater, it might hurt learning. But if it is at the low level, it might also help learning or could perform a facilitating impact on learning. Social distance is also an important factor, and it includes various factors which may create distance between the learner and the community of the target language. When a person do not feel happy or nice about the community of second language, he might create a social distance. And this distance could also be psychological sometimes. However, it may be psychological or social, it results into a diminished input. and the learning suffers badly. For this reason, we find acculturation theory. Acculturation theory believes the more a learner acculturate with the target language community and its culture, the more quick he would, and the quicker would be his learning, his or her learning. So acculturation comes as a response to this distance, and we could see that acculturation might bring in positive changes in the learning of second language. Age difference can also contribute, and as it is generally believed that children are better learners as compared to the older people, so this could also contribute or affect learning. Similarly, aptitude refers to one's potential for learning something, and potential for learning a second language may vary from individual to individual, and this might also affect the learning. Finally, we see the motivation. This is also used to account for the varying degree of learning in various individuals, and it is also assumed to be an important predictor of learning, because it is also generally believed that the motivated people are better learners.